Hello everyone, this is week 7, the Punt, Pass, and Chat podcast, pick 6.
Boom, 7 for 7.
And this is a special edition. I mean, you remember back in the 80s, used to be a special episode, Different Strokes, Punky Brewster? This is a special edition of the Punt, Pass, and Chat podcast, pick 6 segment. This is, I mean, you can tell. I mean, I know Halloween is only 2 weeks away, okay? So you might be thinking, oh, they're going to a costume party or something like that, okay? But no, this is Dolphins-Bills week. It's a special week. This is war, okay? This is North versus South.
This is war?
This is North versus South. This is cold versus warm, okay?
So if this is a costume party, does that mean Ryan Tannehill dresses up as a quarterback every week?
And who's your quarterback again? Where'd he come from?
Dad, he's from Miami.
Yeah. This shows you. Anyways, folks, we're going to pick 6 games tonight. And we'll
the picks.
I made the picks this week. We'll save Miami and Buffalo till the end, okay? We'll save that one till last. So we'll get right into it.
We got to keep the people wanting more.
This is our first game is Cincinnati at Detroit. A hookup of 2 solid 4-2 teams that, you know, they're not elite, but they're not bad teams either. So, I'll tell you, Detroit, I just think this is a team that a little underrated. They're home. I think that helps. I think Reggie Bush is healthy again. And the Bengals came off a big win on the road against the Bills last week on the road. But again, 2 weeks in a row on the road, I really think that does. Yeah, sorry. 2 weeks in a row on the road, I think it does catch up with you. And I like Detroit in this game.
Actually, I'm going with Detroit too. So we have some agreement before we get into the Bills-Dolphins pick. Detroit at home in this one. I think they'll have the advantage. Cincinnati definitely has a good team. I mean, last week they actually showed some offensive firepower. Andy Dalton had a good game, but that hasn't been the norm this season. They've struggled on offense. But if they can get those 2 running backs going, Bernard and Ben-Jarvis, Green Ellis, maybe that could change things. But I'm going to take Matt Stafford and the Lions in this one. I think they'll be able to top Cincinnati at home this week.
Our next game is another AFC East game. It's an AFC East weekend. All 4 teams are playing against each other, and that is the classic rivalry of New England at New York and the Jets. And it's Bill Belichick, Rex Ryan, and it's always a fun game when these 2 teams hook up. And I like New England in this game. I just think that last week's win is something that it's where your season can turn. A win like that can really, not that their season was going down or anything, but that's the kind of game that just gives you such a confidence boost that you really had no business winning that game, and you pull a rabbit out of your hat, or I guess Tom Brady pulls a unicorn and out of his hat, I guess. And wins that game.
You had to mention that, didn't you?
Yeah, unicorns and where's the beef? I like New England in this game. I think Tom Brady is look, Tom Brady or Geno Smith. Come on, that's all you need to know. Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots too. Geno Smith, I'm still not sold on him in terms of being a consistent NFL quarterback. He's had some great games. Mm-hmm. But he's also had some stinkers in his young career. And I think New England has momentum after that win. I think this is a win. The win at home last week over New Orleans, they can really provide a boost to them. They've had some struggles over the last few years, but they've had wins like this that really give them some momentum, and they can, reel off, 3, 4, 5 wins in a row. Yeah. So, I think Brady will be on top of his game in this one. I believe Rob Gronkowski was cleared by the doctors to play this week, so that will be something that the Jets will have to watch out for. So Patriots all the way.
The only red flag with the Patriots in this game is I believe they lost their middle linebacker. He's out for the year.
Gerard Mayo.
Yeah, and he's the guy who calls the signals on defense. I think that's the only flaw. Really big thing here.
Second missing piece in the middle.
Yeah, Vince Wilfork's out obviously for the year. So. The Patriots defense isn't as stout as it could be, but I still think they'll have enough to beat the Jets, though. So, our next game is a NFC East rivalry game, and that is Dallas at Philly. And, Dallas looked great last week against the Redskins, and they looked really good against the Broncos the week before that. And everybody's saying, okay, Dallas is now where they should be. They're a contender again. They're in first place. They're 3-3. But you know something? The Eagles are 3-3. And I like the Eagles in this game. I think that Lincoln Financial Stadium is going to be rocking. And I like the Eagles at home. It's tough to pick against the Eagles at home, especially in a division game where they do know the Cowboys so well. I think their quarterback Foles there, I like him too. I think he's playing solid football. He's not making the big mistake. And I think that's enough to get the Eagles past the Cowboys. It'll be a close game, but I like the Eagles in this one.
I have the Eagles in a close game too. Man,
Wow.
3 for 3. You're looking at my homework again.
Yeah, right.
Bills
fan would accuse me of cheating.
Nice. You got me back for the Tannehill joke. But yeah, I mean the Eagles. You know, this is battle 3. Both teams are 3-3. This will be for the early NFC East lead heading into Week 8. You know, I think the Eagles have really shown that you know they have some pieces, and when they're working, you know, they can really be a good team. Dallas too. You know, Dallas has had, you know, they really could be 4-2 this year if that game against Denver went their way. So you know, tough game, but you know, I will take the Eagles at home. You know, Nick Foles has shown that he can be a good quarterback. Whether he can maintain that or not, we'll see. But you know, for this game, I think he can play well. You know, with LaShawn McCoy and Deshaun Jackson there, I think he'll have plenty of help in this one. So I'll take the Eagles. Close game. I think I had it 30-27 for my final.
Our next game is a AFC North contest. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. You know, as recently as last year, this was a huge rivalry game. I think it still is a rivalry game, but some of that luster's off the rivalry. Obviously, the Steelers are 1-4, and the Ravens are a pedestrian 3-3. That being said, I still think this is a game that's going to be very hard hitting, very physical, and I like the Ravens in this game. I'm sorry, I got Pittsburgh. My bad. I have the star next to Baltimore. Because that's the game we're picking, but I do have Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh getting that win last week was very helpful. I think it just gave them a little confidence boost. I think they're playing at home at Heinz Field. I think the Steelers are going to win a couple more games now. I think they got off that bad start. They put it past them. And, you know, the Ravens didn't look that great 2 weeks ago against Miami. And I do like...
But who won that game?
Yeah, I know. Baltimore did win that game, yes. But they should have lost it, though. But I like Pittsburgh in this
Who beat
game.
Baltimore? Buffalo.
Yes. Okay, Pittsburgh, go ahead.
I'm going with Baltimore in this one.
All right, we finally differ on one.
Yeah, I did pick Baltimore, so
Yep.
it's right there. See, 2017.
Yeah.
So I'm not changing it on the
No,
fly.
no, I'm not changing on the fly either. I stick with it.
But you know, I think Baltimore. This is a game they can win. I think the Steelers have a lot of weaknesses this year. You know, their offensive line, their running game's not what it used to be. You know, they have Le'Veon Bell, but I'm just not sold on him yet. He's had some up and down games, his first couple games this year anyway. So you know, I'm gonna go with Baltimore in this one. I think Flacco will have a decent game, but it'll come down to defense. I think it'll come down to how both defenses perform. Steelers' defense is okay. I think the Ravens are a step above, and I think that's what will make a difference in this game.
Okay, our next game, second to last game, is the Peyton Manning homecoming to Indianapolis, and that's Denver at Indianapolis. And you know, I was leaning towards Indianapolis at the beginning of the week. I figured, you know, here's a team that's beat San Francisco. They've played pretty good football all year, only 2 losses. But then Jim Irsay made those comments about Peyton Manning, and even though Peyton won't publicly comment on them, I'm sure inside he's not too happy. And I think he's going to be pretty motivated. I think the Broncos are going to be pretty motivated behind their leader. And I know that Denver is going to win this game. I think it'll be close. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It could be like a 35-31 game. But I do like the Broncos in this contest.
Well, I'm going with the Broncos too. How boring this week was.
We've got one more game left.
Well, yeah, that's where the excitement is. But I'm going with the Broncos. I think Peyton Manning. You know, as much as Irsay's comments can irk a lot of people, I don't think Peyton will be bothered by them. I think he'll go out and do what Peyton Manning does and what he's done all year. I think he'll have a great game as usual. I mean, the Colts defense is tough. You know, it's better than it has been in years past. But I think Peyton will still have a good game. He's got plenty of weapons to turn to, so that should keep the Colts defense busy. In terms of the Colts, I mean, Andrew Luck is coming off a rough outing against San Diego. He didn't play poorly, but they didn't get a lot of successful drives against the Chargers, which was a little surprising. I mean, the Chargers defense isn't really known as being one of the more stout defenses in the league, but yet the Colts only put up 9 points against them. So I think this is a game that could end up being a bit of a shootout. Broncos get Von Miller back this week,
yes,
I believe.
That's big.
So that that could be difficult for Andrew Luck. Von Miller might be in his backfield a couple times, but again, got to go back to the Broncos, and they're rolling right now, best team in the NFL, and I don't think that changes this week.
No.
I'll take them over the Colts.
And
Sunday
now,
night game, buddy.
Yeah, Sunday night. And now we are to our last game, the one we've been teasing all along, but this is it. It's
The Battle of the Titans, Part 1.
It's Buffalo at Miami, the old AFL rivalry, although there wasn't much of a rivalry in the AFL. The Bills were a good team back in the late 60s. And then, of course, in the 70s, Miami won 20 straight, did not lose one game to the Bills for the entire decade of the 1970s.
If it happened before 1986,
it doesn't
didn't
count
really
that.
happen.
Yeah, it did happen. It's true. Miami does lead the all-time series, 57-40, and I believe there's one tie. So, but this is it, though. In all seriousness, I like Miami in this game. They're home. They're coming off a bye week. I want to think that they're able to fix some of those offensive line issues they've had, that they're going to do things like roll Ryan Tannehill out a little bit, not let him stay in the pocket, let him make some play with his legs. I think they're going to move Mike Wallace around, hopefully, not just line him up on the right side, but move him around too, get him out there. And Miami's defense is healthy for the first time. Cameron Wake is back. They got some defensive backfield injuries that are healed now. So I like Miami's defense. I think that's the key to this game. It's low scoring. I said to Robert earlier on the podcast, 20-17 Miami. I just think that Miami's defense is going to be the difference in this game, and it's going to help Miami overcome its offensive, liabilities.
Well, I'm going with the Bills,
Of
obviously.
course, yes.
Obviously. I mean, let's get real here.
Come on, let it go. Let it out. Come on. You're holding it back. Let it out.
As much as Chris says the Dolphins defense will be key in this game, I think the Bills will be the key. If the Bills do win, I think the Bills will be the key factor. The defense will be the key factor in this one. How many times do they get to Tannehill? Do they force any turnovers? I think all of those can help them in a victory over the Dolphins. Because, as we know, A.J. Manuel, their starting quarterback, he'll be out for another month, or, could be more than that. Thad Lewis is going, a Miami boy. Miami born and bred, played high school football there. So, he'll get his second start with the Bills, third career NFL start. And he showed some promise last week. He had, a couple bad moments, but he did make some good plays. He was a big reason why they came back from 14 down to force overtime.
But he is hobbled.
Well, he does have a foot sprain.
Yes, and that's not good.
So, one of the key things with Thad Lewis Sunday was that he was mobile. They ran the read option with him. He actually scrambled for a touchdown. I think it was a quarterback draw actually. But he'll probably do a little less of that this week. That said, he showed he has a good arm. He can throw the deep ball.
He did throw the deep ball, I'll give you that.
Threw a nice deep pass to T.J. Graham on the first drive. Threw the tying touchdown to Marquise Goodwin late in the fourth quarter. So he can do some stuff with his arm too. I'm taking the Bills in a close one. It'll be a 3-point game. I've got him winning by. I think it'll come down to the kickers. Dan Carpenter, former Dolphin. I think he'll be the difference in this one.
I like Caleb Sturgis, our kicker, but Dan Carpenter's a good kicker. I felt bad Miami caught him, but I know why they did it. He did cost them 2 games last year with missed kicks that were very makeable for a guy of his caliber.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get it done. He got caught. So
Yeah.
he's your I don't say he's your problem now, but he's your kicker now, and
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, a game like this will certainly test how he feels about that situation. Anytime you go back up against a former team like that, obviously there's some motivation, and if he gets into a key spot, it'll be interesting to see how he handles that. He's made 3 kicks, all 3 of his attempts from 50 or more this year, which is for a Bills fan, having Ryan Lindell the last several years, last couple of years, we haven't seen him make those kicks or even attempt them. So to have a guy you can turn to for long-range kicks like that's great. I think it's going to come down to him late in the game. I think this will be a close game. I think the defenses, Miami's got a great defense. I think that's really, what this game's going to come down to. I wouldn't be surprised if it's even low scoring.
Yeah, I think 2017 is as high as it's going to go.
Yeah.
I don't know what the over-under in the game is, although I think I can check here real quick because I do have it here. The over-under is 42.5. I would go with the under in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely so.
Gambling disclaimer?
Yeah, again, don't use these picks for your, professional gambling purposes, for recreational intentions only.
There you go.
There we go.
Right from Papa Chris.
Yeah.
And what's our overall records there, Chris?
Our overall records are...
The people want to know this information.
Robert is 19-17. I am 23-13. I am the leader.
By 4 games.
He's the follower.
Yeah.
So
if you are going to gamble, use his picks.
Yes, use my picks.
So, I think...
Wraps it up?
I think it wraps it up.
This is great, man. We're wearing jerseys. I love this, man. This is, I'm not going to do this every week with the jerseys, but, I think it's kind of cool. It makes it classy.
Well, yeah, the high school uniform you have on.
Oh, he's got the toilet bowl around his neck. And that's what Bills fans do call that white thing, is the toilet bowl collar, okay? I didn't come up with that one. That's a Bills fan who came up with that one.
No one circles the drains better.
I like that. That's good.
Little self-deprecating humor there.
Yes.
So, all right, we'll wrap it up there. Of course, we'll be back next week with our the latest Pick 6 for the Punt, Pass, and Chat podcast. And, of course, you can listen to our podcast every Thursday. This week it's Friday on auburnpub.com. So until next week, enjoy the games, and we'll talk to you later.
Take care, everyone.